Senski wants to make sure we can always enjoy the Washington outdoors. They work hard to provide the services we need to care for our lawns and trees. Senski's mowing service lets us get more out of our valuable leisure time. Senski mows, edges, and trims each lawn to give it that manicured look, the look we really want. And the cost? Well, it's very affordable. Take a look at Senski. They're your neighbors. They were raised right here, and they're proud to be a part of Washington's growth. The Senski people are special. Let them show you.
Covering the inland Northwest with news for the 90s, this is Q6 News.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Randy Shaw. Part of a mini warehouse storage complex in East Spokane is still being guarded at this hour, where officials believe they came across what used to be a methamphetamine lab. As Kim Reemland reports, cleaning up a suspected lab is a slow, careful process, and officials believe it's a process we'll be seeing quite a bit more of.
When the renter of this storage unit fell 3 months overdue on the rent, the complex manager decided to break the lock and clean it out. What he found was a lot more cleanup than he anticipated. He found what authorities believe is the leftovers of a methamphetamine lab, capable of producing some 60 pounds of methamphetamine. Officials say 60 pounds of methamphetamine would sell on the street for at least $750,000.
It's not surprising to find a methamphetamine lab set up in a mini storage warehouse in an industrial area for obvious reasons. There aren't a lot of people around. If you produce noxious odors in an industrial area, they'll dissipate quickly, and chances are if they're noticed, people won't question them as much. And it's easy to come in and run one of these things, unfortunately using false ID or whatever, so you don't leave much of a trail behind.
The chemicals used in methamphetamine labs are dangerous, and any approach is made with caution. The first crew inside took these pictures.
We don't know at this point as to whether that's leakage out of there or whether it's just some spillage out of it.
The next crew in brought a video camera and then viewed the tape to try to get a better feel for what might be inside. Then this remote-controlled robot is sent in. In addition to the dangerous chemicals, many methamphetamine labs also contain booby traps. The robot checks out the things which humans worry could be unsafe. This investigation turned up only chemicals, which are now being analyzed. Even as the investigation begins to wrap up, all precautions are taken for safety. Mangan says the process might be long and slow, but he believes we'll be seeing a lot of this activity as methamphetamine labs grow in popularity.
Methamphetamines definitely are on the rise, and therefore the domestic manufacturing of them is going to increase.
In Spokane, Kim Reemland, Q6 News.
No suspects have been arrested in connection with today's find. The chemicals will be removed from that storage unit sometime tomorrow. Spokane County Sheriff's deputies have a new report to investigate tonight in connection with the Geiger Heights area. Deputies this afternoon responded to a report of a burglar in a mask going into a home in that area. Well, last Friday and Saturday night, children in that area reported being threatened by a man dressed in black. County Crime Prevention Specialist Bill McKenna says when kids are confronted by a stranger, they should not take the time to worry about getting a description.
Getting away, to hightail it out of that particular situation. If they can remember what the person was wearing or anything about a car or a vehicle, that's just our advantage, but that's not the main concern. Let's get them out of there first.
Late this afternoon, detectives were checking out the possibility that one of the reports of those threats, one of the three, might have been a false report. Spokane Police and the prosecutor's office are asking for help tonight. A key witness in a Spokane murder case can't be found. Authorities are looking for 62-year-old Jose Espinoza. Espinoza's disappearance has caused a murder trial to be postponed for at least a week. Espinoza was one of 2 men shot last December at the Saranac Hotel in downtown Spokane. The other man died in that shooting. A few days after the shooting, 46-year-old William Talley turned himself in to Moses Lake authorities. He was brought back to Spokane to face charges of first-degree murder and first-degree assault. Talley's companion, 27-year-old Lupita Martinez, faces the same charges, but Espinoza's disappearance could cost prosecutors their case. The trial has now been set for March 26th. 166 years in jail. That is the minimum term a Spokane man will serve for a brutal 1976 rape, murder, and dismemberment of a 13-year-old Spokane girl. The State Sentence Review Board today set Thomas Mart's minimum term in jail to 166 years from his original sentence of life plus 99 years. The Sentence Review Board is in the process of reviewing all long prison terms issued under the old sentencing laws. Mart's new prison term now falls under guidelines set up by the new Sentencing Reform Act. Under his original sentencing, Mart would have been eligible for parole in 40 years. But under today's ruling, he will now spend the rest of his natural life behind bars. Well, new hunting regulations are proposed for this fall, and Washington's Wildlife Department has a hot one on its hands. In a packed meeting tonight, hunters told the department what they thought about a proposal to end the state's pursuit-only season. Now, that season is the equivalent of catch and release, chase down, but not kill.
The department's recommendation is based on enforcement problems that we have with pursuit-only seasons, folks who are pursuing and killing illegally, and it's also based on social pressure that we're getting. Other people saying this is not an appropriate recreational opportunity in Washington. They don't consider a pursuit-only season a legitimate use of wildlife. They consider it harassment or whatever.
It's our only way of training our younger, eager hound hunters. Our pursuit is the way we train the younger people, that they don't have to kill. When we catch lions, we catch bear, we catch and release. That's the idea of it. When they start taking that from us, we have no way to train the young fellas or our dogs.
The new regulations are just proposals for now. A final decision on the pursuit-only season is expected this Friday. Idaho Governor Cecil Andrus made an airplane whistle-stop tour of his state today, announcing he's running for re-election. Andrus arrived in Coeur d'Alene 45 minutes late due to some plane trouble, but received a rousing welcome from supporters as he made his last stop of the day. With many pro-choice buttons in the audience, Andrus reaffirmed his anti-abortion stand, but refused to say whether he would sign Idaho's proposed abortion bill.
I don't know whether that bill will make it to the governor's desk. I do not, never have prejudged legislation. You can take a bill, and Bill Murphy can tell you, and other legislators here can tell you, and you're for it one day and it's amended the next day and you're against it, or vice versa. I think the first thing we have to do is wait to see what arrives in the governor's office, if anything does.
The bill, which passed the state senate in Idaho and the committee on Friday, would give Idaho the nation's most restrictive abortion law. A compromise tonight over the city of Spokane's plans to compost yard and leaf debris. Spokane City Council member Joel Crosby had wanted a pilot compost program to begin this fall. The council decided to do away with a pilot program idea and have the city begin accepting compost material next winter as a regular service. Well, the U.S. Census Bureau is making a nationwide effort to count the homeless. The project is called S-Night. The S stands for Streets and Shelters. It's there that census takers will search. Census takers have been receiving special training for the project, which starts tomorrow afternoon at 4:30.
They're being trained, yes, with the idea that some of these people could be violent, and they're also told we don't approach anybody. If anyone is sleeping, we do not wake them up. I mean, I'm talking about on the street locations themselves now. And if a person has any feeling that there might be danger there, they're just to walk away from it.
The numbers from the count will be used to target federal and local funds for the homeless. Census takers will start with the shelters, move to the streets, and finish with abandoned buildings. Sacred Heart's helicopter Heart Flight program is back in full swing tonight. A brand new helicopter was called into service this morning, putting the program back in full strength. Heart Flight had been operating with a temporary replacement helicopter since last summer's crash that killed 3 crew members and a patient. With the arrival of the new chopper, Sacred Heart has helicopter service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When we come back, Soviet President Gorbachev flexes his muscle in the breakaway Baltic Republic of Lithuania. And a worldwide search is underway for several masterpieces stolen from a Boston museum in the biggest art theft in modern times. We'll tell you how the thieves lifted loot after this.
Tough Mazda trucks, the most trouble-free in America, backed by the best basic truck warranty, bar none. Get yours now, and you'll also get up to $1,000 cash back from Mazda. the Mazda Spring Sales Event. It's not subtle, but it's catchy.
At your local Mazda dealer now.
Well, here goes. Ernst has everything you'll need for that home lighting project. Indoors or out, and it's always the right price. Always. We've got it all, from switch boxes to how-to books, and we'll beat anyone's price by 5% guaranteed.
There's a good idea.
Check out Ernst's large selection of lighting and accessories.
How about a light in the upstairs closet, too?
Always.
This is Lens Lab, where we custom make glasses in just 1 hour, even no-line bifocals. How? Lens Lab eye care professionals grind lenses right in the store. Listen.
I got trifocal glasses with ultraviolet coating and tinting in less than an hour.
I got an exam. They said come back in an hour for your glasses. I came back in 50 minutes. I had my glasses.
Lens Lab promises service in an hour, and that's what I got.
Lens Lab. Glasses custom made in an hour in Spokane at Northtown Mall across from Frederick and Nelson.
This picante sauce says it's better than the salsa made in New York City. They don't say how it stacks up against La Victoria. I wonder why.
In world news tonight, the Kremlin is cautioning Lithuania not to go too far in its bid to break away from the Soviet Union. Lithuania declared its independence from the Soviet Union just about a week ago. Today, a televised Soviet government announcement warned the republic not to set up its own custom posts or introduce its own currency. The announcement did not say what would happen if the warning was ignored. A spokesman for the Lithuanian independence movement says 10 truckloads of Soviet troops have been moved into the capital of Lithuania, but Moscow has promised not to use troops to impose its rule. The U.S. State Department says it's keeping an eye on Soviet military maneuvers in Lithuania tonight. Soviet-American trade may soon be taking a turn for the better. The Commerce Secretary says the U.S. could grant the Soviet Union most favored nation status by the summer. According to the Commerce Secretary, the Soviets are expected to meet a condition for that status this spring with the enactment of a law allowing free immigration. And East Germany's Communist Party has been handed a resounding defeat in this weekend's elections. Mike Betcher reports the victorious conservatives have pledged to seek a rapid merger with West Germany, and they say the first step toward reunification of the two Germanys should be to tear down the most obvious symbol, the Berlin Wall.
The facelift had failed to impress East Germans. The colorful posters which had adorned the facade of Communist Party headquarters were taken down after the election defeat. East Germans had formally confirmed the communist decline. The people had voted for a new leader. Lothar de Maisier's conservative Christian Democrats had won the election with the promise to move quickly to reunify the two Germanys. Today he asked other East German political parties to join him in a grand coalition government so he could fulfill his pledge. West German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, who had campaigned hard for de Maizière, confirmed that he would do everything in his power to speed the reunification process. News that the reunification clock had begun ticking sent shivers through East Berlin's Karl Marx Avenue, where many Communist Party members live in relative comfort. Here they still proudly display the flag of Communist East Germany. 4 decades of May Day parades had passed beneath their balconies. Gerhard Petri and his wife had grown accustomed to the routine, but there probably will not be another parade in May. I am scared that my apartment will cost 4 or 5 times more and my pension will not be raised, he said. I am 78 years old and I don't see a rosy future. At East Berlin's Humboldt University, 100 faculty members in the Marxism and Leninism department have no work. Professor Siegfried Prokop is afraid. He believes his fellow countrymen betrayed him and his nation for the promise of riches.
They voted for banana, chocolate, and a better life.
Today, he taught his history class how Germany was divided. The professor soon will have to teach them how it will be united. The new lesson plan is being written for him by a new generation of German leaders. Mike Betcher, NBC News, East Berlin.
What's being called the biggest art theft in modern times, and the perpetrators made it look ridiculously simple. But the loot is too hot to handle, too famous to fence, and even more strangely, the thieves left behind paintings more valuable than the ones they took. Fred Briggs reports that makes investigators wonder if the pieces might have been taken by a collector or by someone planning to hold the artwork for ransom.
The theft from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum was shockingly simple. Two men dressed as policemen rang the bell early yesterday morning, and when the guard came, bound him up with tape. They took 11 paintings, among them and most valuable, the Concert by Vermeer, one of just 32 Vermeers in existence. 2 Rembrandts, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, and A Lady and Gentleman in Black and White, and works by Manet and Degas.
These are 17th century Dutch paintings and 19th century French works. They left the Italian Renaissance collection, which is really what we're best known for.
One of the 3 most valuable private collections in the world, begun by the widow of John Lowell Gardner in a private home designed as a Venetian palazzo. Isabella Gardner, shown in this John Singer Sargent portrait, had it turned into a museum after her death in 1924. Her collection was shown in a home setting, certainly not the average home, but that's what she wanted.
She was a woman